Good morning, guys. Wait, hold on. It was just way too early. Today, I'm tearing down this thing behind me. The first greenhouse I've ever built. I have decided to build a bigger, newer greenhouse. And I am super excited. I know it doesn't seem like it because I'm still trying to wake up. But I am super excited for this new greenhouse because, like I said, it's going to be bigger. And for one, that is a huge benefit because I'm tired of hitting my head on these cattle panels that I've used as my roof for the last almost 4 years now. It's the disadvantage of being 6'2". You kind of run into things that are short ceilings, I guess. I'm going to be tearing down this greenhouse and building one that is wider and taller, and it's going to be 6 feet tall and well over I think 12 or 13 feet wide. It's going to be a pretty big greenhouse, and it's going to be 20 feet long. So actually 22. Okay, let's just say it's going to be a bigger greenhouse. I really haven't measured things out precisely, but I know what I'm gonna build, and I think it's gonna go very well, hopefully without too many injuries. When I built the pond and when I built the last greenhouse, I did almost die, cut myself in various places, did sprain certain ankles, and did stretch out certain muscles that shouldn't have been stretched out, and it was very painful. So this time I'm hoping that we can get through this build without too many injuries, but something tells me that that's just not going to happen. But hey, I'm gonna try. It's gonna be a long day. It is pretty much Memorial Day weekend. Everybody is out thanking our veterans, and I guess being with their families and celebrating and consuming large amounts of alcohol. But as for myself, I am definitely thanking our veterans, but I am choosing to work, and choosing to work because I can't seem to not stop working. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life and never really had a real job, and this is all I know is just constant work, dedication, and expanding, growing, and just never stop grinding. Before we get started, I wanted to just say that this greenhouse that I built behind me was my first one that I've ever built. This greenhouse has a lot of memories because this is what started Jacob's Aquarium here on this property. This greenhouse was the place that really took Jacob's Aquarium to the next level. Before this greenhouse, I was, building ponds in garages, on balconies in my parents' apartment. I was working out of fish tanks in my room. Jacob's Aquarium has operated in many different locations. And, especially when I was working out of my parents' apartment, it was very, very difficult, running a business like this in an apartment. And in my room, as a matter of fact, my room was not a room. I mean, I had a bed in there, but eventually that got moved out, and it was basically an office and a workspace. So, my dad's pulling up right now. Here it comes. It's gonna help me today. It was basically a workspace and a place for me to operate. It's been quite a journey getting to this greenhouse, but it's old and it's kind of falling apart, and it's time for a new one. Let's say hi to Dad. Hey, Dad.
Hey.
Say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Are you awake? Because I barely could wake up this morning.
I'm used to getting up this early in the morning.
My dad's been getting up to go to work at like 4 o'clock in the morning for what, like 30 years now?
40 years.
40 years, almost 40 years. So yeah, this man is the man that has really rubbed off on me and really given me the motivation to do what I do. He's worked very hard his whole life, right?
That's right.
So yeah, we're gonna be tearing down this greenhouse today. But yeah, like I said, this greenhouse has a lot of memories. It's what started Jacob's Aquarium. I'm not really sad to see it go, just because, you know, I know what I'm building now is gonna be bigger and better. But yeah, you know, this is what started it all, and now it's going away. But it's gonna be replaced by something much bigger and better, which will further take Jacob's Aquarium to the next level. So I'm gonna film as much as I can of the building process, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Thanks for watching. And thanks for helping me grow Jacob's Aquarium to what it has become today. I never ever thought that I would get to this this spot in my entrepreneurial career, but I have, and I can't be more happy to do what I'm doing today and just continue this. It's so much fun to make a living from something you have a passion for and something that you actually enjoy. You know, it's just been quite a blessing. So thank you guys very much. So let's get started. Okay, so we took down the original greenhouse. Dad's been chipping away at the posts in the ground. These damn things are 3 feet deep, so we're just gonna cut them off and leave them in the ground, let them dissolve. But we got the whole greenhouse, the old one, torn down, and it looks so different. The pond is all exposed now. So now it's time to build the new greenhouse. All right. Jesus, Dad. Okay, so it's pizza time. Been working out here, building a new greenhouse. Got the posts in, that side and that side, behind the palm tree. Oh, there it is, right there. It's coming together. It's gonna be pretty tall, 8 feet. I decided not to cut. Oh, food's coming out. I decided not to cut the top of these 8-footers, so the greenhouse is gonna be 8 feet tall. It's gonna be a huge, huge greenhouse. So it's looking good though. Looking really good. So pretty soon it's gonna be up. It's gonna be massive and gorgeous. And I have more space too to work now, which is a blessing. Jeez. All right, so it is now day 3 and the greenhouse is finally finished. So glad it's over. I have recovered slightly, still hurting in several different places, but I feel much better. I feel like a train wreck after building this thing. This thing took a lot of work. It was much harder to build than the last one. Before I show you guys the greenhouse though, I want to give a huge thank you to my dad. My dad has helped me with like every single thing that I've done with Jacob's Aquarium. He's helped me build the old greenhouse, the older ponds, the newer pond. Like he's helped me film videos. I mean, my dad has helped me with like everything, and I can't thank him enough. And my dad already works super, super hard as it is. So, which, as I said earlier in the video, his work ethic and the way that he has lived his life and been so responsible throughout his life has definitely rubbed off on me. And my dad is sort of an entrepreneur himself. He's always found a way to, you know, sell things, turn little things into a business. Like he has a thing where he buys stuff off of this app called OfferUp, and then has these massive garage sales and sells like tons of stuff, you know, on a weekend, and makes like thousands of dollars. Like my dad is a genius, and it's definitely rubbed off on me. And that's not to say that my mom isn't. My mom is also a genius, and she's helped me a lot with a lot of the stuff that I've done with Jacob's Aquarium too. So a huge thank you to my parents. I love them so much, and they definitely played a big role in everything that you're gonna see right now. So this is the new greenhouse. Look at that. Let's go inside and take a look. All right, so as you walk inside, you know, the first impression you get is just, wow, look how tall this thing is. The greenhouse is, I think it's almost 13 feet tall. It's huge. These posts that go into the ground are 8 feet tall, and then we got a further, like, geez, probably another 5-6 feet because the cattle panel's up here. You know, I'm really bad at math, so you guys can figure that out. I probably mess all that up right now with saying 8 feet, 6 feet, whatever. It's tall. It's very, very tall. It's a really big greenhouse. So I'm gonna switch the camera around to the other side of my phone, the 4K camera, so you guys will get better video quality too. And we can take a better look at everything that's inside the greenhouse and the structure and all that stuff. So here we go. All right, so first I wanted to give you guys an outside shot of the greenhouse. This is the full greenhouse, the building. It's practically a building. And I'll walk over here to show you guys the end of the greenhouse over here. And this was actually where the entrance was before. But I chose to make the entrance on the other side now. Just because these palm trees were in the way, you know, it just bugged me. But hey, look at this. See these palm trees? You see the way they're growing? I could definitely put a hammock like right here. I'm actually really thinking about doing that. It is so peaceful out here. I just love, it's just always shady and it's just perfect. It's a nice place to relax. So I might put a hammock over there. But yeah, this is the back wall of the greenhouse. It's just, it's so massive. It's just so huge. I can't get over it. That's what she said. Anyways, this is the old greenhouse. Basically a pile of wood and plastic. And I will be using some of this scrap wood to further support the greenhouse. The greenhouse is fine like it is now, but I just really I'm kind of overkill when it comes to, safety and, you know, structural support and stuff. I just really want to make sure this thing can withstand the really high winds that we get out here. So I'll show you guys the other side of the greenhouse before we go inside. There you go. The plastic on top is nursery greenhouse plastic. It has UV protectors in it, so the sun will eat it up. It's guaranteed to last 4 years. The other plastic I bought lasted about the same, so I have no doubt that it's going to last a while. It was so much work to get this plastic over the roof. The plastic is like 24 feet long and 28 feet wide. It's huge, and we had to somehow get it up here and secure it with the winds and the rain and everything. That one day it was such it was so much work, and it's so frustrating because so many times when we would get the plastic up there, the wind would just blow it away and we'd have to find a new way to get it up there. Eventually we realized that we can just tie some ropes to it, throw the ropes over the roof, and then pull it from the other side, and that's what we did, and that was the only way we were able to get it up there. So, but yeah, this is the outside of the greenhouse, and I mean, I know I'm gonna keep saying this throughout the video. It's just this greenhouse is just so big compared to what I'm used to, but I love it. I have tons of space now. So, all right, let's go inside. So my door is basically just a roll-up door. It's not really anything fancy. I probably will build some type of like screen door or something in the future, but for now I'm just gonna leave it like this, just because you know, I'm really tired. I just built this thing, so I just want to get working, you know. So as you walk in, you'll see the sump filter. The sump filter has some plants in it, has some Italian valve growing in there, and some rocks. I'm gonna add some more biomedia though, just because these rocks really don't collect a lot of biomedia. The pond is filtered through a micron sock that also has a nylon sock inside of it to filter out all the larger debris and guarantee that the micron sock, the regular one, lasts longer. I actually made a whole video on how you can make your micron socks last longer by putting a nylon sock inside of a regular one. So if you want to know more about that, watch that video. It's really helpful, and I can get like pretty much like 6 months of use out of one micron sock versus before when I was buying them like, you know, once every 2 weeks. So very easy to maintain that way. So the water is piped into the sump filter all the way from the opposite end of the pond through this 2-inch PVC pipe, and I also have some ball valves on here to cut the water flow when I'm servicing the sump filter. Makes it a lot easier so that, you know, water's not continuously coming out and everything and filling this up and eventually overflowing. And then the water is pumped back into the pond with 2 Active Aqua 1,000 gallon per hour pumps. I really don't like these pumps, but it's all I have right now. I want to eventually get a Pan World. I think it's the 1,900 gallon per hour pump. It's an external pump, and it would be so much better and pump out so much more water into the pond versus these 2 pumps. But like I said, this is all I have now, so I want to use these. They're not the greatest because they don't have a lot of head pressure, and being that I've piped water, you know, out and underground and then back into the pond like this, there's a lot the water has to go through. So I need a lot of pressure to you know, keep the water moving, and these pumps really don't give me that much. So I will be replacing them with a much more powerful external pump in the future, but for now, just using these. And just like before, the sump filter's topped off with my own custom built auto top off system, basically just a trash can with a float valve attached to it, and that seems to keep the sump filter topped off for, I mean, pretty much a whole week. I don't really have to touch it for a whole week, although during the summer water does evaporate much more quickly and is starting to really heat up, so I would say I have to fill it up maybe once every or twice every week, and instead of the, you know, once every week. But other than that, it's perfect. You know, this whole system is just great, and it keeps the pond water crystal clear. As you can see, the water is crystal clear. You can see like right down to, you know, to the bottom. There's no distortion at all, so the water's healthy. and all the guppies in here have been breeding like crazy, and they look happy and healthy. It's really hard to see on camera, but you know, if you stare at the sun filter for a little bit, you'll see little tiny things moving around, and those are fish. Those are guppies. So they've been breeding like crazy, and I gotten some really nice colors out of some of the babies too, like the gold ones. Those are really pretty, and the blue ones, like that blue one right there, I've had for a while. He's really pretty. So yeah, this is the sun filter, and like I said, water is piped all the way from the opposite end of the pond through this 2-inch PVC, and as you can see, I've attached it through to there, and that's my inlet right there. It's a 2-inch inlet, so that can handle a lot of water per hour, so I can definitely upgrade my pump in the future. I just got to kind of raise some parts of the pond because it's kind of sagging out just because there's no middle support. So yeah, definitely looking forward to upgrading the pump in the future. That way there's a lot more water being pushed through the system and a lot more water movement, which will in turn help keep the pond cleaner a lot longer. As usual, I have my baskets here full of all my plants that don't require substrate, like Anubias, Bulbitis, Windalove, my Physidin mats over here, moss balls over here, which, by the way, I saw another website selling these for like over $10 and I was really shocked at that. Guys, I sell these for like, I think $3 or $4 on my website. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's $3 or $4. So I don't know why other places are charging so much for them, but if you want a great deal on moss balls, definitely check my website out. I also got some Buse in here as well. It doesn't require substrate, so it's just in there. And then also, let's go around to the other side. I got my CO2 hooked up right here, 20-pound CO2 tank, and the CO2 is hooked up to whoa, oh my goodness. Okay, that was not a good idea. Ah! Okay, wow. Okay, let me just show you here. It's a very powerful pump when there's no plumbing connected to it. I got my CO2 line hooked up to this pump, and that way it's evenly distributing. Man, I just got soaked. It's evenly distributing CO2 throughout the whole pond, and which is great. You can definitely tell that the plants are pearling and stuff, so CO2 is definitely being diffused really well into the pond. But yeah, guys, the new greenhouse is just amazing. I love it. It's so big. I mean, look at the ceilings. It's awesome. Which, by the way, I had to add this support right here, which was really challenging to get up on here. This greenhouse was not empty when I built it. The pond was already here, so to access like the roof and everything, it was kind of a challenge. But I had to add this support here because the cattle panels were kind of sagging because they're kind of stretched a lot further than you typically would stretch them when you build a greenhouse with them. Yeah, this supports the roof really well. And these are actually the old cattle panels from the original greenhouse. So I really didn't get rid of everything from the old greenhouse. So this is kind of a nice memory. These things have lasted a long time. So I'm really happy about that because I didn't have to spend more money on the roof of this greenhouse. So, which brings me to the last thing I want to talk about. Everybody always asks me how much, these things cost to build. So let's talk about that now. So in total, I believe I probably spent almost $1,000 building this new greenhouse. Between all the supplies that I needed to get, new plumbing, nails, I had to buy a saw, the wood, the plastic, everything combined. Just thinking about it and all the charges I've been seeing on my Chase account, I think it's about almost $1,000, which is not bad because a greenhouse of this size built professionally out of like steel and stuff, like high quality materials, not wood, built by a professional. I mean, the labor costs alone would probably cost $1,000, well, maybe around there, but definitely you cannot build a greenhouse like this, or you cannot buy a greenhouse like this pre-made out of those, other materials of this size for the price I paid to build it myself. Definitely not possible. So it's a lot of work. It's challenging. You really have to get creative sometimes. This is my own design, by the way. Like I said, I looked up some reference pictures on the internet, but for the most part, this is my own design. I had to change some things along the way to get it to work. But yeah, it's my own design. It works. It's actually, I forgot to mention, it's staked into the ground. Every post is not in the ground with concrete or anything. It's just staked into the ground with these really long metal stakes, or steel stakes I should say. And I did it that way just in case I ever wanted to take this greenhouse apart and move it or anything. It'd be a lot easier. But yeah, the greenhouse is staked into the ground, and it's very solid, and it hasn't moved or anything, and it's gotten really windy out here, so this thing's gonna last a while. I'm super satisfied with it. And like I said, this is where I'm going to be making all my future videos and things like that, so stay tuned. You'll see a lot more of this new greenhouse in future videos. I want to give a huge thank you to, once again, my mom and dad for helping me make this possible. They helped me, build this, and helped me with a lot of different things with Jacob's Aquarium. I want to give a huge thank you to all my customers of jacobsaquarium.com and all my YouTube subscribers. Without you guys watching my videos, buying plants, I would have never had the money to build this thing. So thank you guys so much. I'm really looking forward towards the future. Jacob's Aquarium has been up and running for quite a while now, and I'm thankful every day that I get to do this. And it's all because of you guys, and of course the help from my parents. They've helped me build things and film videos and stuff. I just can't thank them enough. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, post them in the comments below, and I'll try to respond to you as soon as I can. And also, don't forget, if you're interested in aquatic plants, visit jacobsaquarium.com. I have almost 100 different species to choose from, and the website's pretty empty right now. Not a lot is in stock, but I am getting a really large shipment this week actually. It's a huge order, tons of plants, so everything will be back in stock, and you guys will be able to get quality aquarium plants at the most affordable price on the internet. And I say that every time, and I emphasize that because practically nobody beats my prices. Everybody sells plants for like 3 or 4 times the price that I sell my plants at, but I don't believe in being greedy like that. I believe in offering a quality product at an affordable price, and at a price where my business can still remain profitable and still be sustainable, and progress into the future, and I can expand, just so that I can keep going and keep doing what I'm doing and keep making a living. I don't believe in being so greedy and charging, like I said, like over $10 for a moss ball. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much. Please don't forget to subscribe and like me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Have fun with your tanks, guys, and I will see you next time.